name is Alyssa.
And I'm Emily, and you're listening to Slash&Slay, a horror podcast.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, guys. You sounded sad.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. You know what they say in public speaking? You go up, right?
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
There we go. That's happier. Happy second week of October, right?
Yes. I am sad
Why?
because it's only the second week of October.
No, time slow down.
And I want it to be Halloween already.
There is some
Just
exciting
kidding, I
news.
What?
Tomorrow,
Uh-huh.
the weather. It's going to be good.
Oh, my gosh. The weather is dropping to the high of 69.
Oh, my gosh.
And a low of like 49.
That is crazy.
And
How is it going to drop like that overnight like that?
I don't know.
Because
but
right
I'm
now
ready
it's
for
like
it.
87 degrees.
I know.
I was sweating a second ago.
I'm so excited. I want to do like
So
all the
excited.
fall activities ever.
I know it's hard to get into it, and I feel like we're robbed of a little bit of time. Especially, I'm a
know.
very mood person. Like, and I
Mhm.
have to. Everything has to match the vibe, match the mood, or else
Yes.
I'm like, nope. So I've been
Yeah.
in no mood, not a summer mood, not a fall mood, but now I'm ready.
Well,
I hope by tomorrow,
that you'll be ready.
yeah,
Yeah.
because the weather,
the
as
weather,
we discussed.
I'm like, I need to pull out my sweaters.
Mm-hmm.
I just bought a new sweater.
Ooh,
It has
I
like
want to see
flowers
it.
on it. I haven't gotten it yet.
Oh,
I ordered it. And
I ordered 2 sweaters this week too.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just perfect.
Sweater weather.
Sweater weather.
I'm gonna have a nice hot cup of coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Have a nice hot cup
Hot
of coffee.
cup of coffee during the garage sale.
Mhm.
Garage sale. That'll be perfect for
October
the garage
is a good
sale.
time to have a garage sale. My mom
And
had a
the
garage
weather.
sale last year.
In October?
In November.
November. Oh, yes.
November.
You told me about that.
Yeah.
She lives close to my aunt, so she should come and look at all the stuff. And then your mom can buy all my things.
Okay.
Okay.
My dad's coming into town, so.
Woohoo.
Woo, woo, woo.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Do you have fun plans?
No, it's my nephew's birthday.
It's literally like
It's always someone's
once
birthday.
a month. It's like one of your nephews.
No, for real. Well, they were
birthdays.
born. We have May, July, September, October. So it's like it's all this
all
half
year.
of the year. We just don't have any in like the front half of the
Just
year.
you.
Me and now my husband.
When's his birthday?
January 15th.
Okay. January 15th.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
I'm judging him off that. No, I'm kidding. I don't know anything.
He's a Capricorn.
I don't know what that means. I'm not good at that stuff. I'm better at like the INFJ. What is that? The Enneagram and the
Mhm.
Myers-Briggs.
Myers-Briggs. Yeah.
Number? Is that the numbers?
The letters.
No. Oh yeah, Myers-Briggs and letters and the Enneagram's the numbers.
The numbers.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you are a 4.
4. And you.
I knew it.
Excuse my.
Ding.
Excuse my dinging. What are we talking about today, Emily?
You left us hanging on what your Enneagram is.
Oh.
Oh wait, we did do this whole episode of the Hunger Games.
Yeah. The
Enneagram.
we did a whole Enneagram episode.
Enneagram episode. Go watch that if you want to know what horror characters are Enneagrams. I'm a 2.
Yes. I'm a 4.
I'm a 4.
I'm a 4.
Today we're gonna do another chit chatty video. We are gonna talk about iconic creatures, monsters,
Iconic creatures, monsters, classic creatures, monsters that you
classic
might
creatures,
find
monsters.
around the Halloween season,
Yes.
or you might find it all year long.
Honestly, this is some way that I judge people's personality as well. So it's fitting that we talked about the Myers-Briggs and Enneagram because
By what their favorite creature is?
yes, like what is your creature of choice?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like for me,
Vampire.
yes, now it's a vampire.
Mhm.
It used to always be ghost. I was always a ghost girl.
Yeah, because your last name.
Because my last name, and I really like, and even ghosts still have a really special place in my heart because I
Mhm.
love like like especially on the the Haunted Mansion ride.
Yeah.
When you go through and they're just dancing.
Yeah.
And they're dead, but they're so pretty and sweet. Like I love that in like ghosts that they can just keep living.
Yeah, the
and
happy
some of them are
ghosts.
nice. Yeah. I like
Casper,
the happy
the
ghosts.
ghost.
The friendly ghosts. But now anything with vampires, I'm eating it up.
Yeah.
Sucking the blood. I love vampires. So like what does that say about me, you know?
I don't know. I really like, if I had to pick, and this is like cliche, I really like werewolves.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that's really fitting.
I think it's very
vibe.
fitting for you.
Vampires and werewolves.
Well, werewolves.
I'm not just saying that because of Twilight. I've always like
been drawn to werewolves.
I've been drawn to the werewolves.
Yes.
Like, would I want to be a werewolf if I could? Maybe. As long as I could control it.
Oh. Did you see the harvest moon the other day? It was so beautiful.
It was huge.
It was a giant.
Oh,
it was so pretty.
I wanted to bask in it.
Uh-huh.
You know, I was a wolf girl. I wanted to bask in it.
Uh-huh.
But
you couldn't because you turned to a wolf.
Oh, right. But I came inside because I was like, saw it when I was driving home. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to go out and like, we'll just look at it. And I came inside. It was like when I walked inside.
It was already gone.
I forgot.
Oh, you forgot.
I forgot it existed. And I didn't do anything with it.
It was so beautiful. It was gorgeous.
It was, what the little I saw of it.
And I bet a lot of werewolves came out that night.
I bet. I'm surprised I didn't get attacked. Well, it's because I was home.
You were home. You forgot about it. So.
I didn't go. If I'd gone out, maybe I would have been attacked.
Yeah.
But then maybe
so
I'd be a werewolf now.
What if you are and you just made it this whole story? How elaborate.
Oh my gosh. Wait, what if, like, I came inside and I forgot about the moon? But what if something already happened while I was walking inside?
And you've forgotten all of it.
And I forgot all of it.
And then when the full moon comes, you'll become a werewolf.
Yeah.
You'll have to keep us updated
I'll
on
keep
what
you guys
happens.
updated on if I become a werewolf or not.
So you're a werewolf girl, which makes sense because you love a dog. You love a dog.
I love a dog.
She loves dogs.
I love a dog.
She loves a dog.
I love woods.
Golden retriever.
I love the forest.
She likes woods. She likes.
I go camping. I like camping.
Oh yeah, she's an outdoorsy girl.
Yeah, well, I say that like I think there's a part because like when I was a kid, I was such an outdoorsy girl, and as I've gotten older, I mean, I never go outside, but in my head, I'm still an outdoorsy girl. You know.
But if you're in the outdoors, are you like, ew, I hate it here?
No, not unless I see spiders,
right.
Or anything else.
But you also, if you see spiders in your house, you're like, ew, I hate it here.
Exactly. So it doesn't matter.
I think you're still an outdoorsy.
Thank you.
Outdoorsy girl. Outdoorsy.
Outdoorsy girl.
Outdoorsy girl. Yeah, you're a werewolf. Now, if I met somebody and they were like, oh my gosh, I love zombies, I'd be like, okay, boring.
Like, okay,
you know what I mean?
What's
like,
wrong with you?
Okay.
You like brain dead people? So
zombies.
All of you zombie lovers
that
are
interesting.
listening.
I'm sorry I'm judging you. Be like, okay.
I also really
cool.
like, and I don't know if this is, I don't know.
Why can't we talk today?
I don't know if this classifies as like a classic creature or monster, but like Sasquatch, Bigfoot.
Oh.
Because that is, I mean, some say it's like a cryptid, and I don't know if that has, so it's an urban legend. But if you're classifying it as I
think he's a classic
monster, then I feel like I'm a Bigfoot girl.
You're a Bigfoot werewolf girl.
Yes, half Bigfoot, half werewolf. Werewolves have big feet.
Just like a really big werewolf.
Yeah, exactly.
Bigfooted werewolf.
Exactly.
A Sasquatch.
A Sasquatch.
What other ones? Okay, if you're a witch girl, I like a witch girl.
Yes.
I find the witch girl's very interesting, but I can never like dive into that realm.
Yes, I think it feels maybe a little too dark for me.
Yeah.
To personally dive in. But I love the aesthetic. The aesthetic is everything to me.
You know what aesthetic I'm going for this fall?
What?
Bimbo vampire.
Work.
Go for it.
Work.
I think I can do that.
I think you can pull that off.
My bags under my eyes have been severe. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep those going and just add to it and put a little red lipstick on and be like, I'm a vampire.
I'm a vampire.
And braid my hair and have pale skin.
I love
That's
it.
all I need. Yeah, with witches, like I think that's really cool, and I don't know. They just don't call to me like vampires do.
Yeah. Just a different vibe.
Yeah, different vibe. I like sweet witches, like practical magic witches.
Oh yeah.
Cozy witches.
Cozy's fun. Cozy's a lot of fun, and the aesthetics also really good there too. What about like Creature of the Black Lagoon? Creature from the Black Lagoon.
You know I won't like that.
Like kind of you won't. Swamp. It's like a swamp thing.
Swamp thing. Like the swamp thing.
The swamp thing.
It's
It's not really a vibe. Like it's not really a vibe.
Someone's like, oh, I love like water monsters. Is that what you say? I love the Loch Ness monster.
I mean that could be a vibe.
It's
Scottish
interesting.
vibe.
But you know what I'd rather have on a lakeside loch?
What?
A vampire castle, you know?
True.
So,
see, and I want a little cabin in the woods that I retreat to after I'm turned back into a human. So,
yeah, we're very different. No, I'll have my nice luxurious castle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
There's also like Frankenstein's monster.
Yes.
That's a vibe.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so if somebody's like, I love Frankenstein, I'm like, the doctor? Really?
The doctor?
You like him? Because he was not a good guy.
Right. Everyone always says, but Frankenstein's monster was a good guy.
Yeah, he was just misled. He didn't know any better.
It's not his fault.
It's not his fault.
So,
but the stereotypical
people say Frankenstein.
Yes. We know what you're talking about though.
Yeah.
Frankenstein. I think if you like him, I'm like, oh, okay, you're like you like live in black and white.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yes, exactly.
You're old.
It's like you're old. No, but it could be like a very
good, bad.
Like a black and white with a splash of green.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
That's your vibe.
Like that's a vibe.
That's your vibe.
That's a vibe.
I just remember, I think like probably my first introduction to monsters at all was like the Munsters.
Uh-huh.
And Herman, who was like Frankenstein.
Yeah.
That was my first introduction.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just like the sweet little goofy guy, you know, like not scary at all.
Yeah,
so.
I've never been like scared of Frankenstein monster.
No.
It's
just a little silly.
Yeah. Just to like, it's always, because I've always been in it, it's been a goofy, like a kind of a goofy lumbering himbo type man, monster man.
Good for Mary Shelley.
Yeah.
At 19, are you kidding me?
That's insane.
What is it? It's called like Frankenstein. The book is like Frankenstein, the Modern Prometheus or something like that. Is that what it is?
I don't know.
It's like a long title. Anyway, I don't know.
Anyway.
What other monsters?
Mummies.
Boring.
I'd be like, mummy girl.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, okay.
Okay, so
interesting. You like crusty dusty.
Crusty
dusty aesthetic?
Crusty dusty is a vibe.
I feel like we need to do one of those like TikToks where it's like aesthetic for this, and then it's like really fast and it has all the pictures.
Oh my gosh, we should.
For all of them.
Guys, you're listening to us brainstorm TikToks. The
zombie one is going to be... the mummy one is just going to be like
dusty.
Pictures of crumbs.
That's such a good idea, though.
Yeah.
We should do one for every day of the week next week.
Okay.
Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
We can do Sunday. At least the main ones.
Yeah.
But we have to do a mummy one for you mummy girls. Like y'all nasty, crusty, dusty.
You crusty dusties out there. But you gotta have a crusty dusty.
But like, I think that mummies and zombies are like, very similar. So I'm like, eh.
Yeah, but I feel like zombies are grosser.
They're slimy.
You can see their innards.
And they'll eat you. But what do mummies do?
Mummies are wrapped up.
What do they do?
Maybe see some of their innards. They chase you.
For what? I've never seen a mummy.
But, you're right, because mummies and zombies both do the thing with the arms.
Yeah, stereotypically.
But I guess because they're undead, and so that makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know what.
Just unlocked.
I think
something.
the only mummy thing I've ever watched was Scooby-Doo, and the mummies.
Scooby-Doo. I was trying to think of all the monsters in Scooby-Doo because those are like classic monsters.
Oh yeah.
A lot of the times.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Abominable Snowman.
Oh,
that's one too.
I was thinking the one from
Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like lemon snow cones.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so sweet.
Yeah. So like you could think of him as being like a scary, like a yeti.
I always thought of him like, you know, he's just a creature and like people are up in his business.
Right. Like why are you climbing a mountain in the snow?
Leave him alone.
But that's a vibe.
It is a vibe.
The abominable
you'd be
snowman
like,
vibe.
You know the girl, did you ever watch what's that movie? Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
Yes.
And that girl that had like at the end she was like the ice princess and she had like
Uh-huh.
all the fur and like she was like had a little blue tip nose. Like that's your vibe.
That's the vibe. It's like
That's your aesthetic.
blue, white, crystal,
Red snow.
quartz, and
Blood
covered snow.
quartz. Yeah, you're right. Maybe some opals.
Some opals. My ring's an opal.
It's an opal.
My ring's an opal.
You're a Yeti girl.
Wait. Am I?
Wait, should we put a picture
Am
of
I
like
a Yeti
a
girl?
Yeti drinking cup? You know?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it's part of the aesthetic.
Yeah, for sure.
You're not a Stanley girl. You're a Yeti
You're
girl.
a Yeti girl. Mm-hmm.
I love that. What other ones? What other ones? If you're a ghost girl,
Oh yeah, ghosts.
a ghost girl is like folklore Taylor Swift.
Yes, I agree. Which is a vibe.
Which is a vibe. It's like,
Or like Victorian. Like I see.
oh yeah, you know what? Safe and Sound music video. That's your vibe.
Okay.
Do you remember that? Do you remember
Mhm.
that? You're walking through the woods. You're barefoot. You're wearing a white little something or other.
Yeah.
You have wooden floors that creak. You have a little lantern that you put.
Yes.
Your lantern.
Oh,
and you
lantern.
walk
Lantern has
around.
got to be part of it.
Oh, and there's wind. There's always like
Mhm.
some wind in the house.
Like a swing that just swings by itself.
Yes. But it's like
that's part of your vibe.
it's like my
yes.
house is a little haunted. Yeah, you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying?
That's a ghost girl.
Yeah, ghost girl, vampire girl.
Vampire girl is like dark velvet.
Velvet.
You like velvet, don't you?
Sure, I love a good velvet. Why
I
not?
love a good crushed velvet.
I love a good
every
crushed
once in
velvet.
a while.
Dark, pretty lace.
Yes.
Classic. Some pops of red.
Mm-hmm.
What's a good album that's like a vampire girl?
Oh, I'm feeling.
They all have to be Taylor Swift albums, right?
I was thinking Taylor Swift.
Okay.
I was thinking like Reputation.
Yeah.
I see that. I mean, it's the only one I can really see as being or Red.
Mm-hmm.
Those two.
Red. Reputation.
Mm-hmm.
One of the words. Evermore is a werewolf girl.
I think so.
Yeah, the lumberjack album.
Has to be.
Aw. What else? What other monsters are there? I'm like drawing a blank.
I mean,
now. The Invisible
there's
Man.
The Invisible Man.
He's
Did
invisible.
you ever see that movie
Oh, the one with
with Elizabeth Moss?
Elizabeth Moss. Yes, I did.
What did you think about it?
I loved it all until the end.
Until
They like revealed that, oh, it really is an invisibility suit, because I kind of wanted it to be like
an actual ghost.
Yeah, or like, oh, is she crazy? You know, I wanted it to be
Yeah.
like that, because then it turned very sci-fi.
Oh yeah, I was very sci-fi with the invisibility suit, and then she gets an invisible, and then it was like his brother was like working with him.
Yes, it was so weird. It was like,
but I don't think that's like the original.
no. Actually, my boyfriend right now is reading the OG H.G. Wells Invisible Man.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yeah, this is not like it. But he watched the movie. He has like the creature collection that has like the 4 main ones. Like it has like, I don't even know if it's Nosferatu or Dracula. Like Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman, Invisible Man. Those are like the top 4 universal monsters.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the Invisible Man is not like that at all.
What about like a phantom?
Like the Phantom of the Opera?
Yes,
Hot.
but like a phantom. But the Phantom of the Opera wasn't actually a phantom; it was a person. So
Right.
like a phantom, though. What's the
Like
difference?
Scooby-Doo Phantom.
Yes. What's the difference between a phantom and a ghost?
I feel like a phantom is more present in the world. Like
Okay.
maybe a little bit more powerful. Maybe like, this is just from my perspective. Like I don't know the actual definition. I think we should look that up. But I think it's more like human a little bit. You know what I mean?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
That's just my perspective. Because honestly, if I'm thinking of like, I mean, Phantom of the Opera, but I'm not saying like he's an actual phantom.
Right.
But he was like a person.
He's like, there's got more of a tie to the
like physical world.
Physical world, whereas a ghost is more tied to the dead world.
I think so. And like you said, Phantom of the what's it called? The Disney.
Megaplex?
Yeah, that one. Like, you know, it was still like an
fake.
embodiment. It wasn't Ghost of the what is it? Ghost
Megaplex.
Megaplex. I almost said Metaplex, like Mark Zuckerberg.
Basically, Phantom's just a ghost.
So we're wrong. It's just synonymous.
It's just synonymous with ghost.
Oh.
What is the difference between a ghost and a phantom? A ghost is typically a spirit. Oh, wait. A ghost is typically a spirit or soul of a deceased being, while a phantom is an intangible or elusive being.
Oh, okay. So we were right.
You were, yeah. All ghosts are phantoms, but not all phantoms are ghosts.
Oh.
Interesting.
Okay. So
it's just
different.
like a
slight
breed. What about like a ghoul? What's a ghoul?
Ew. Who's a ghoul girl? A ghoul girl.
Ghoul is like a
ghoul girl.
I mean, there's all sorts of ghouls. A demon-like being or monstrous humanoid.
No. I think of that stupid demon from My Best Friend's Exorcism. That horrible one that was killed with Everclear.
Awful.
Yeah. That's what I think of when I think of ghoul.
Of a ghoul. A goblin.
Like a gargoyle, goblin.
A goblin. What is a goblin?
Goblin, I think of like
a cup.
What do I think of?
A small,
Narnia?
grotesque, monstrous creature that appears in folklore. So that's more like that thing that was in My Best Friend's Exorcism.
Was a goblin.
Was a goblin.
Look like one for sure.
Look like a goblin.
A ghoul's a little bit more menacing, probably. Goblins are kind of silly.
Yeah. I'm a goblin.
I'm a goblin. I'd
I'm
be like,
a goblin.
Okay, sure.
Okay, yeah.
Or troll.
Sure, you're a troll. A troll, a giant.
Giants.
There are giants in the sky. There are big, tall, terrible giants in the sky.
Sondheim.
We just like perform all of Into the Woods right now.
I don't know it.
I honestly don't.
I don't know it. There's so many monsters now that I'm thinking about it.
There really are. Once you start talking about them, it just keeps coming.
And there's like always being more creative. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like, I really like taking something and making it your own. Like when authors do something fun, like they put vampires in modern world and they make them like different than they normally were, or stuff like that, or make ghosts a little different. Have different lore in ways that you've never seen
because you
before.
really can do anything with it.
Because you're a creative artist.
Yes. So get out there and write your monster books, people.
I mean, I never finished Nosferatu. I kind of wanted to wait until Christmas to finish it.
Because it's Christmassy. It's very Christmassy.
But that was a whole different twist on vampires.
It was very different. It was more like less vampire, more like soul sucker. Yeah. You know? I guess isn't that the difference between Nosferatu and...
I think so.
Is that he's like trying to take your whole being.
Yeah.
As opposed to vampires just trying to suck your blood.
I think the new new movie, the new Nosferatu movie with Bill Skarsgård and Lily Rose Depp, I think it wrapped like yesterday or something. So in 2024 we're gonna get the new one.
That'll be fun.
I know.
I feel like they could make a movie out of this Nosferatu. NOS 482.
Well, what is Joe Hill only has that one movie, Black Phone.
Oh yeah.
And then
I always forget he wrote that.
He has a series.
What's the series?
I don't know. It's like an adaptation.
An adaptation
to something.
Creep Show?
No, he was just in that at the very beginning.
Horns?
When he was a child.
Horns?
No. Let me see. I know where it is. I'll find it.
The Black Phone. Horns. Lock and Key?
Let's see.
Just looking at what he's a writer on.
It was like a...
I'm not saying anything.
You've
You've lost it.
No. I'll find it. Wait.
She's lost her mind.
Wait.
But I think I need to read more of his stuff. We're gonna get into the creature feature short story collection. That's kind of what this whole episode is based on. And Joe Hill wrote a story.
Yes, he
did. And the only other story I actually read of his was no. Do you say NOS 4A2? Or do you say NOS 4A2?
I think you say
NOS 4A2.
Yeah.
NOS 4A2. NOS 4A2.
Nose for a 2.
Nose for a 2. That's the only thing I've read of his. Heart-shaped box was one of his first ones, I think.
Heart-shaped box?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here it is. Let's see.
Tell me more.
I lied. I don't know where it went. Anyway, sorry everybody.
She's a liar.
I read it yesterday.
She's a liar. Are you sure it wasn't a Stephen King?
A liar.
Sure it wasn't Stephen King?
I don't know.
Because there's a Stephen King adaptation out, but it's old. It's called Rose Red.
Oh yeah,
that's Stephen King.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
How interesting. I have not watched that.
Interesting. He looks like his dad. I never really looked at him.
Yeah, he
really
does.
Exactly like his dad. Interesting. Anyways, do we want to get into the creature feature story collection?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. We're going to kind of rank them by
how much we like them.
Yeah, our favorites to our least favorites.
We haven't talked about these yet. I'm so excited.
We only talked about one, really.
Yes.
So
because I was trying to get her to read them too.
Yes, and I read all of them.
Yes, they were so cheap. It was like $5 on Amazon. Basically, what they were doing was getting short stories from popular horror authors right now, and the only like premise was they all had to feature a creature. So they all did different creatures
and like own spin on them, which we were talking about earlier.
Yes, which was very fun. Yeah. I had such a good time reading these.
Yes,
like,
me too.
They kept me awake. I was so engaged.
A couple, well, really, honestly, only one of them really kind of made me feel like,
yeah,
like
one
that.
of them scared me.
But
I wonder which one scared you. I actually read the Grady Hendrix one first because I didn't even realize it was a collection. And I was like, oh, new Grady Hendrix just dropped.
I thought it was a whole book.
Me too.
Because I saw it, but I was like, I saw it was coming out, and I was like, there hasn't been a whole lot of promotion for this. And there was tons of promotion for How to Sell a Haunted House before. I knew like months before. So I was like, oh, that's weird.
It literally just dropped.
Whole book, and then I was like, oh, it's a short story. That makes sense.
Yeah. So that's the one I read first, and it's called The Ankle Snatcher. It's basically, which we've already talked about, Stephen King's The Boogeyman, the short story. It's basically that.
Boogeyman and Don't Look Under the Bed, the Disney movie that we talked about that I was so scared of.
Yes.
It's like that.
So it's like this.
Worse.
It's worse. Yeah, it is kind of, it's not a gross. Disney movie. No, it is kind of gross. Grady actually wrote from a perspective of a man, if you can believe it.
I really couldn't. I did not think it was
second.
for a while.
This kid, Marcus, well, he's an adult now. It follows Marcus, and his dad, he grew up believing his dad killed his mom. And the night that everything happened, the dad came to Marcus and said, there's only one rule, and your mom broke the rule. She got out of bed without turning on the lights. And the boogeyman got her. And Marcus has always assumed his dad was crazy.
Right. But he did always turn on the lights before getting out of bed.
He was still a little paranoid. He was like, I just can't.
Glad he listened. I wouldn't have.
No, I would have been like, no.
Dead instantly.
Yeah, I would have
that night.
I would have been like, okay, Dad, bye. Like, freak. He brings a girl home. And he's like, wow, I'm on top of the world. This is great. Love this girl. And she just hops out of bed.
And he's like, oh my gosh, she did it without lights, but nothing happened. So he's like, okay. He's like, all right, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And then she's about to get back in bed, and something
snatches her ankles
and pulls her into the bed, and there's like this fight, like he's trying to like fight it out with it, and then he just has to listen
for like a while
as it chomps on her bones.
And then he gets arrested.
Well, there's when he was like going to get all the stuff to like,
he was going to go down there and destroy the
he was like going to set it on fire, like all the stuff.
He didn't care. He was going to get rid of it.
Yes. And like he'd even like bought like braces to nail into the floor so he could hold on to something, and he was ready, and I was ready to see that fight.
Yes.
But then he just got arrested.
Which he was not very smart about it. Not that he should have been. He didn't know.
Yeah.
But he did get arrested, and then he goes into the prison and he finds out like, oh, this is where my dad was, and he made a lot of friends, and the friends are like, it was crazy. Like the friends were just all on board, which is like they knew about the ankle snatcher. They're like, you're not crazy. Like we're gonna get the ankle snatcher
because it had killed one of
his roommates, dad's roommates.
They
which
like, saw it.
I just love when Grady Hendrix does that. Like in How to Sell a Haunted House, they're like, oh, your house haunted. Like you know, he's just like, we're not going to go through the gaslighting. We're going to be like, no, this is how it is. And so then Marcus is like, oh, all these people are crazy. Like there's no ankle snatcher. But still in his like internal monologue, he's like, but I was really glad that there was no under the bed. Like it was just a concrete slab.
Right.
So he like obviously believes it. He's just in denial.
Right.
And then
it's all kind of like, I think it's like signifying generational curses, generational trauma that's passed down. And
those like the Boogeyman movie, I can't remember if it did in the short story, but in the movie it was like it latches onto a family. So it was the same thing. Yeah. But I'm so sorry, Stephen King. I really liked The Ankle Snatcher as a better Boogeyman story.
That would have been a really good. I just like can imagine so many of these things as movies and how scary they could really make it.
Yes. Especially since it's like, 45 minutes, hour read, if not shorter.
Yeah.
Then you could like make a really good movie.
Oh yeah. You could expand on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or just like really take your time building up the suspense and everything. Yeah. I think that'd be really good. The next one I read, I had to do Paul Tremblay in The Bloom. Because we love Paul Tremblay, close personal friend of the podcast. Paul
Tremblay.
close personal friend of the podcast.
Liked one post.
Yeah, he shared my review of this.
Oh,
actually.
Nice.
Yes, he did.
You didn't tell me that.
He sure did. What was his about?
His was called In Bloom.
In Bloom.
And it's basically this girl who's going to interview someone. She's a journalist, and she is interviewing, or she's researching the effects of toxic algae on the Cape Cod coast. And she's going to interview somebody who's a well-known local expert on this subject matter. And had like in this event that happened in the 80s. Yes. So she's interviewing him, and he tells her this crazy story of how he went to a baseball game. He was reading The Swamp Thing. And there was a nice little pond near, or a lake. And a child started drowning in the lake. And all the spectators came over and rushing. And his dad ran into the lake without hesitation, ran into the lake. Saved the boy for a minute. And then the water and the algae in the air started to have this effect on everybody and all the spectators. And they started getting sick and like welts on their skin. And started like started fusing together into like this big glob. And the dad did not make it. The kid didn't. Nobody made it except for this kid, the other kid. He ran, and this blob started going out into the forest. Yes, and he started chasing it. And because it was like it had infesting his mind, and he was like, come with me. Yeah, so it was like a symbiote type symbiotic relationship, and he follows it out into the woods. He's eventually found by the police. Yeah, and the dad's just announced missing. And he's had to live through his whole life trying to explain this monster to people, and they don't believe him. And so he's always looking for it, and he knows all the negative effects of the algae and stuff. And so the girl's like, well, that is not what I was expecting. I'll do the best I can with that.
Go home now.
Mm-hmm.
And on her way home, she gets stuck in this traffic jam across the bridge.
Across the bridge where the algae is.
Where the algae lies. And she sees something come out of the water. And then that's the end of the story.
Yeah, which very Paul Tremblay.
Oh, it was so... All of it was so Paul Tremblay. Because it was like underlying message about how much humanity sucks. And like how bad you are about... pollution and blah blah blah.
Open-ended ending
and super realistic and open-ended ending. And I was like, Paul Tremblay wrote this like so clearly.
Yeah.
Yes, that one.
Mm-hmm.
Did you read that order as well?
No, the next one I read was Big Bad.
Big Bad. That's the next one I read too.
Close personal friend of the podcast,
Chandler Baker. She also shared this review too. Good. I saw on her Instagram today her doing a handstand and walking on her hands. And I was like, I just kept watching it. I was like, oh my gosh, like that's crazy.
And I unfollowed.
I was like, yeah, I unfollowed. I hated it. No. Super sweet. Love her. This is the first thing that I read of hers. Mm-hmm. Big Bad. So far we've had a boogeyman. A swamp monster.
Time monster thing.
Big Bad. I don't know why the name didn't give it away for me.
Really?
I had no idea. I was like, I wonder what monsters this is going to be.
I knew the whole time.
Well, to be fair, like I just didn't really look at the like names or anything. I was just like, all right, next one. Like I didn't really look at them. So I don't know. I can't even tell you some of their names, honestly. I'm like, I don't know.
Maybe that made it better, you not knowing going into it. Because you were like, because the whole time I knew what it was.
Okay, no, I had no idea.
So I was like expecting it.
I was trying to explain this one to my boyfriend, and I was like, this was so good. Like, I love this one. And I was just explaining it so bad. But basically it's from the perspective of a wife at first. The wife is a very smart professor. Mm-hmm. And she has to go home to her husband. They just recently moved with their 2 daughters.
Sorry.
I'm boring her to tears.
Boring me. To this farmhouse.
Yes, a beautiful farmhouse. A secluded farmhouse.
Sounded very nice.
Oh, I bet it was beautiful.
It even had a little extra house.
Extra shed.
Airbnb.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Airbnb in the back. To make some extra cash, they would rent out the Airbnb. Switches to the dad's perspective for pretty much the rest of the story.
Sometimes the daughters.
He's a very resentful, you can tell, very angry person. Mm-hmm. Somebody tries to come and rent out the Airbnb, and he's like, not this week. There's no Airbnb this week. Mm-hmm. Leave. He's not very nice about very kind. And this guy's like, okay, are you sure? He really wants to stay in this Airbnb. So he finally is like, get out of here. And so he's like, all right. He's very, very annoyed with the wife for being late. Mm-hmm. She has a flight to catch, and he needs help putting the kids to bed, and then she needs to leave. And she's late coming home. So he's very upset about that. They sit down for dinner as a family, and you get a lot of insight into their dynamic. It was a very quiet. You can sense a lot of tension.
Oh, yeah.
The dad is very...
There's something the dad's resentful
upset
about the wife about.
Yes.
Besides, it makes it seem like, oh, it's because, she's smarter than him, and she's more successful than him, so he's not happy
and she
about
made
that.
him move here. And so they're resentful. And so I was the whole time I hate this guy. I hate this guy, you know. Yeah. So the wife is eventually getting ready to leave. She says bye to her kids. And
there's also been mudslides in town, so it's bringing all these animals closer onto their property.
Especially the wolves, big wolves that have been known to attack humans. Yeah. So they hear a few howling. Mm-hmm. The husband has a gun ready just in case. He's getting the wife ready to leave, and he basically shoves her out the door.
He literally throws her
so suitcase. Aggressive.
He throws her suitcase in the yard, and he's like, "I'll deal with that later."
Yeah, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, where is he taking her?" And then he takes her and chains her up
in the cellar.
The big cellar basement. Chains her up real good. He says. He then leaves, and while he's getting ready for bed and things, that guy comes back.
The guy with the Airbnb.
And he's like, what are you doing here?
And he doesn't see a car.
He came on foot. Mm-hmm. And so they have a little bit of a row. They get upset at each other.
He's saying, "Oh, I know your wife from before," and he's like, "How do you know her?" And oh wait, before the guy shows up, he goes, no, the guy. Oh yeah, sorry. The guy shows up and then he leaves. He like just leaves.
Yes.
And then he goes to check on his wife.
Yes.
And she's not there.
She's gone. She stole the key off of him. And he's like freaking out. He turns to leave, and then there's this wolf outside the door. One of the gray wolves is there, and he doesn't have his gun, of course. So he ends up like manually fighting off this wolf, which was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was like,
dang,
what is going on? Because like I knew it was a werewolf, but I'm like, but that's not his wife. Like, well, I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah,
like, it was
just a wolf like attacking him. And you're like, dang, okay, where's the wife? Come save him or whatever.
Yeah.
Or eat it. Like I thought, okay, he's done. Like thank God he's gone. The mean guy. He escapes. He runs up and is like, okay, we got to get the kids in the attic because we're in danger. And you're like, okay, weird. Throws the girls in the attic. He's like, stay here. It switches to the daughter's POV. They're in the attic. They're rifling through some things. They find
I really liked the dynamic of the daughters.
I know.
It was so perfect.
Sweet.
Like the balancing, just like what it's like to have a sister. Like be the like, because it was sometimes from the older sister, sometimes from the younger sister. And as the younger sister,
you knew,
I could relate.
As the older sister,
I was like, you could relate.
Yeah. So it was perfect.
Yeah.
They were rifling through all their things, and they found a whole bunch of baby stuff that was like blue.
Yeah.
And stuff that said Mason on it, and they're like, what?
Who is that?
Who's this with mom? Like they saw a picture, and they're like what, 7 or 5 and 8, I think.
Yeah.
So they freak out. And the younger one was already like, I think daddy's like a mean person. Yeah. Like, and I was like, whoop, like, dang, what did he do to you? So they're like, we have to call mom. So they call mom, and they're like, wait, her phone's here at the house. Like, she wouldn't have left without it. So they go downstairs, and they're like, they walk down, and while they're looking for mom's phone, the guy comes back.
And we found out he is a hunter.
A hunter for these type of things that apparently kill 4 in their lifetime.
But he's like, but she killed way more than that.
Yeah, we're like, oh, she's ahead of schedule. Yeah, she's a little ahead of it. So basically that's when the pin drops for the reader that the mom is a werewolf, and it's a full moon, and he was chaining her up so that she wouldn't
kill anyone, because she did happen to kill.
She killed Mason, guys.
But no, wait, she didn't.
What?
She didn't kill him. Not as a werewolf.
Oh, right.
Whoops.
Dun, dun.
But it makes it seem like she killed him as a werewolf.
Anyway,
they get into the hunter and the dad into a fight again, a fist fight this time, and he's basically like choking the hunter when the girls walk in.
And they're like, "Oh, daddy is a
their neck."
Yes, yeah.
And they're like, oh no. So they run away into the woods. They're like surrounded by wolves. The dad comes and then saves them.
Oh my gosh, when the older one was like, run, it's okay. Like I'll
so she's like so sacrificing herself.
Because she couldn't, girl. But thankfully she was fine.
Yeah.
The dad saved them, runs back, and he's like, I have to tell y'all something. And when they walk in, there's a werewolf inside the house. The mommy is there. And the husband's like narrative is so heartbreaking the whole time, because he's like trying to justify like her actions as a werewolf, and being like, we've tried so hard for 12 years like to make this work. She told me they made it like seem like a sexually transmitted disease or something.
A little bit.
Like she got it at a party. And like it's never been the same since. Like she's always had this disease.
I think that must have been the underlying, because they all have underlying messages.
Yes, yeah, a little bit.
And so I think that was that one.
Yeah. And so he's like, okay, well, I'm going to protect my daughters. And he like turns the gun on the wife. But then the little daughter runs in front and tries to save her, and then
save the mom. So the
dad pulls with the gun away, and
the mom's able to kill the
dad. Oh, what brutal.
Yikes. And then the little girls are fine.
Yeah, the girls run away, I guess.
And the mom is like, comes back and she's like, yeah, I would never hurt my young ever, like, and then you're like, well, what about Mason? Because they ask, and she's like, he died in like a car accident. right? It was a car accident.
Yeah, something like that.
And
She
your dad
slipped
thinks
on
it's my fault.
black ice. Yeah, and he always blamed me or whatever. Like, okay.
So, and then at the end, the little girl has a scratch on her arm.
Yes.
So
she's probably gonna be a werewolf. Yeah. Oh, that one was brutal.
It was really good.
It was so fucked up. Sorry, guys. It was so brutal.
It was. Then we have.
I think I read It Lives in the Woods.
It Lives in the Woods.
It Lives in the Woods by
Josh Mallerman.
He
wrote Bird Box.
Bird Box, yes. This one was basically like abduction.
Yeah, abduction. Something in the woods is this thing called the Opso. This like
that freaked me out. I was thinking of like a Krampus vibe.
That's what I got too.
There's like a folklore tale, that he lives in the woods. He doesn't have a face, and he abducts people and tries to get their face, basically. Yeah. So this young girl, what's her name? Jenna.
Brenda.
Brenda's the sister,
and Amanda's the younger sister.
Okay, so
she gets kidnapped, or she
was abducted by.
Yeah, she disappears, and the parents like blame the older sister.
So and years go by.
Yeah, it's like been 3 years, and she like, Brenda had heard this like lore, this what like folk tale about this Opso in the woods, and she thought that it could be that back then, but then everyone was kind of like, yeah, right, okay, you're crazy. And so 3 years later, she decides to go into the woods by herself, like walked for like 3 days, 3 nights.
Crazy.
To just, I don't know.
She was just looking for the Opso.
Yeah, she was just trying to go as far as like past where they had searched for her sister before. And she's filming the whole time. Like, she's really into film.
She loves filming.
And so she finds the white bridge. That's from the lore. And she, like, hears, like, she sets a mic up by it. And she hears, like, it's like, oh, my face.
Heavy breathing, my face. Yeah.
Oh. It freaked me out. This one like actually freaked me out. Like,
this one freaked you out?
This one freaked me out.
This one scares me because it's just like, oh my gosh, like,
well, her just like, even just her walking in the woods.
Oh yeah, I was like, girl, no. She was trying to get like proof, basically. I don't think she really wanted to, like, I don't know. I don't think she was like going bronze, like trying to do all this stuff.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think she was just.
I think she was trying to get proof and like save her sister or whatever. Yeah. She kept having this like feeling like maybe my sister's fine, maybe she's still there, and I can move on with my life, whatever.
Yeah.
So she basically she's like, okay, the Opso's here, like it's here. So she like sleeps on it, and then she's like, okay, I'm going in.
Yeah, so she crosses the bridge, and it goes into like this, it's like a cave type thing, and there's like a mirror there.
It's so like folklore-y.
Yes, it
like
is.
Aesop's fables.
Yeah, and she looks down to this like pit, and there's like bodies and stuff, and there's like they're like missing their faces, and there's a girl down there, someone she had seen a missing poster of before
recently.
Yeah, and she's like, help me get out.
He's
she's
coming
like,
back.
I don't know if I can because it's really deep. And she asked if she's seen Amanda, and she just says she's gone. So she's like, okay, so I think is she gonna go help her, or like
I think she was gonna go. She ran away and was gonna go get supplies to help her. And I was like, girl, like, you have to tell her. Because she was like, help me. Like, screaming, freaking out.
Yeah. And then, so she's running, and then something grabs her. And she looks, and it's her sister. What? She's alive.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. And she basically finds out that this thing, like, keeps you alive, well, like, drains you, like, just starves you, basically. Until it can take your face. Until your face slides off. Is like kind of how it was. And then it like, it's there. Oh yeah, because she has this mannequin head that she used to use for their film. So she took it with her. And it like uses the mannequin to like stand up. Yeah. And it's like, where's my face? Where's my face? And then she like puts the phone to it. And it starts like screaming. Like, where's my face? And they like run away.
Yeah. And that girl,
they said
left her.
And they said, bye-bye, bitch.
Poor thing. That's horrible. Yeah,
but
and then that one really freaked you out? When they were leaving, it freaked me out because they were like, no matter where they go, they'll always hear the opposite.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, oh my gosh, go
Yeah.
back. Like, just get back over there.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine. Just let your face fall off at that point. It's gone in a few years. Like, you'll be fine.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, that one freaked me out too.
Mm-hmm.
I get some chills.
You get the chilies. Next.
The Best of Luck.
Best of Luck.
By Jason. Was it also an M?
Moti? M-O-T-I-E?
Yes.
M-O-T-I?
Yes.
Yeah.
This one was pretty quick.
It was.
It was a quick read.
It was a really short one.
Basically, these two best friends, they're best friends, and their lives have taken very different paths. One of them is very wealthy, well off. The other one
Healthy
has
kids. The
yes,
other one
has
has
kids. The other one has lost his children.
Both his children.
Does not have a home. Like, he's like struggling to make ends meet.
Yeah,
and
his wife left him.
His wife left him. He does not have very good luck.
Yeah, his health is deteriorating.
Yes, he also. I was like, this poor guy. Like, life really dealt him a bad card.
Mm-hmm.
Or did it?
Or did it?
Anyway, he's had it. He's
yes.
like. I was just trying to imagine, like, would I do this to like Alyssa?
Right.
Like, would I? Like, basically, he wakes them up
stop.
and has a gun to his best friend's head and is like, "There's something living on my stomach that has been telling me that you have stolen all my luck." And he goes through all the bad things that happened to him, and the best friend's like, "Dude, like,
he's
you're
like, I was here
crazy.
for you. I love you. Like, what
I
are
was
you
here for
about?
you. I helped
and
you."
He's like, it's saying that you have done this to me. And he's like,
"What is on your stomach? What are you talking about?"
And he eventually, he get the gun?
Yeah, he had. So the dad, like, or the best friend got the gun, and was like, sorry, and pointing it, like, they switched sides. The other friend had the gun now, and he was like, actually, that was all true, and I have been stealing all your luck. Like, I'm sorry.
He's like, I had to do it.
I didn't really mean to, but like, it just happened, and he has to feed. And he's like, this thing on my stomach is like a monster. It has to feed. And he's like, yep. And
it takes your luck, and I have to give it to someone.
Yeah.
And it just happened to be you. Sorry, man.
So he's like, well, guess on to the next one. And then
it's like this like little fetus thing.
Yeah, so gross.
And the daughter comes in. She's like, is that it? And
yeah, I was like, what? Y'all know about this? He's like, yep.
We have to feed it.
We have to feed it, or else you won't get a new iPhone. Like, basically.
Right. It's like, we're going to have to, like, you're going to have to learn to pass it down, to pass it to people to get luck.
And then him and the oldest daughter cleaned up the body together. Little bonding experience. Woo-hoo. Yeah.
That one was
just very gross.
It was just disturbing.
Yeah.
And the idea of it. And just like, I think it was definitely a thing about capitalism and greed and eat the
draining
rich.
them dry. Yeah.
Eat the rich, but the opposite.
They
rich eat us.
We're poor, guys. Please listen to our podcast. Then the last one. This is actually the last one I did read.
Ooh,
The Pram.
The Pram. It's the last one I read too.
Really?
The Pram by Joe Hill.
By Joe Hill. This is my first like completed thing that I read of Joe Hill's. What are the names? Willie? I always was like, he Willie. Like, his name is Willie. Willie and Marion? Margaret?
It starts with an N.
Marjorie Milton.
Is it?
No.
Margaret? No, I don't think it's Margaret. Marianne. I think. Anyways.
No, Marianne and
Wanda.
It's not Marianne. No, okay, yeah, it is Marianne. It's something with an M.
Okay, will you tell it and I'll find out.
Okay, so basically Willie and Miss M girl, they are dealing with the loss of their child. She had a miscarriage and they lived in Boston, and they're just tired of being in that place of mourning and grief. So they moved to another secluded, beautiful farmhouse in Maine. Mm-hmm. Of course, it's always Maine. Yes. I should have known. The King boys love Maine. So they moved there, and when they're like looking at the house, they're like, what are those Amish people? And they're like, those aren't the Amish. Those are the
sin planters.
The sin planters. And basically they're similar to the Amish, but they are slightly different. I can't remember what they said, how they were different. They're they're there, and they're like, well, they're about to die off. They're, they're getting old. They're not around anymore. Yeah. So he's like, okay, weird. Anyway, they get this nice, beautiful house. They're living in it. And he's like, I live in a walkable place now. Like, I'm going to go and walk to the general store. So he walks and he meets this guy.
The owner of the general store.
And he's like, I want this. You know, he gets his groceries and he's like, okay, well, I'm going to go walk back now. And the guy's like, wait, I got something for you. And he brings out this pram.
It's this old, dusty, crusty mummy pram. We'll put that on too. And at first he's like, oh, like, I don't want that.
Gut punch, because he's like sad that he doesn't have a pram of his own for his baby. But he's like, it's fine. It's just a buggy. Like, I'm going to get over this grief. So he puts all the things in there and he takes it, and he's like, he's like, oh wait, I kind of like this down this little bridle path.
And he hears like a cooing sound. He's like, a baby? And it's like, no, that was just a bird. He's like, okay, like, well, I really like pushing this.
Yeah. But he's like, I don't want it to upset my wife.
Yeah.
And so he puts it in this nasty shed in the back. So he goes about his life for about a month, and he starts just getting really attached to this pram.
Yeah. And so he goes back to the pram, and there's like a raccoon in it. Yeah. It's like something's moving, and he thinks it's a baby.
He sees a chubby hand reach up, but it's a raccoon.
And it like attacks. It doesn't attack him.
No, it just runs away.
Just like runs away. And then he takes the pram, and he just like will go on walks with the pram. Just like randomly. He just makes like excuses to go to this country store and get stuff so that he can take the pram for walks. And it's like more and more he's like kind of convinced that there's a baby in there. He like at one point does see a hand come out, and he hears crying. And but he does leave the he leaves the pram in the shed. And there's also a doggy door in the house.
Yes. The doggy door at night keeps flapping, banging.
And it doesn't make sense because the wind's like
on the other side
or something. Yeah. But he keeps saying, oh, okay, I'll fix it in the morning. And one morning they wake up and there's like a dead raccoon with its head off.
Yeah. And I hated the wife. The wife was like, clean up on aisle 1. I was like, I would be screaming bloody murder.
Like throwing up.
Yeah. I would be like, that is
so
horrible.
Gross. Yeah. She was like, I'm not touching that.
Yeah.
Bye.
I was like, girl. But, you know, through all this, you're like seeing the sadness in their family. And he hasn't dealt with his grief like the wife has.
Like,
he's taking care of her. And she's still struggling with the grief. And he just kind of finds solace in like pushing this pram around. One day he comes outside and the wife is trying to get rid of the pram, and he's like, no, like freaking out, gets very angry, and she's like so confused, and she's like, I know you can't smell it because you've had COVID, but like this thing smells so bad. I'm pretty sure the raccoon died in here. Like, gross. And he's like freaks out. I was like, no, don't touch my
this
pram.
Isn't mine anyways. And so
I'm gonna fix it up and take it back. And she's like, okay, can you do it now?
Keeps like keeping it by the door so she can see it, like just being petty after that.
And then he gets very drunk and angry, and she texts him something that's like, I'm so sorry, like I want to work through this with you, like the sweetest little text. And he's like, like I don't care. And so he starts drinking whatever. Eventually he's kind of like, no, like this is like my wife is trying, like I'm gonna give up on this pram business, whatever. So he goes upstairs and he like lays down with his wife, and he's like, tomorrow I'm getting rid of that pram. And then he starts hearing the doggy door, and he's like, he kind of knows like something is really up. So he goes downstairs, and what comes through the doggy door?
A little demon baby.
A freaky baby.
A freaky demon baby comes crawling on all fours. Well, it tries to go upstairs first, and he's like, no. He's like, I'm not after all this. I'm protecting her. And so it like attacks him and like starts eating him.
His insides.
Eating his stomach, like pulling out his guts. And then the
whole fam
shows up. So the old people they saw on the road earlier,
like, hey,
and then the general store guy with his daughters and wife and stuff come in, and they're like,
"Aw, the baby's born."
The baby, and they basically take the baby, and I don't fully understand what happened. Like,
I think they were just like, oh, well, we got a new one now, because they like for some reason their
he
lore,
like manifest it, I guess, in a way, so that now they have a baby soul sucker to continue their
lineage, blood lineage. They like have along the bridal path. They like planted blood trees, basically. So it was very strange, ritualistic type thing. And he's basically like still conscious, but his guts are like spilled all over the floor. So That's it.
That one was interesting. Just, I think
Sad.
the perspective of like male grief when you lose like a baby, which is often not, I don't think it's like talked about like as much for sure. So
I think that was probably the message here.
Yeah.
Letting grief consume you.
Not
Literally.
dealing with it. So
until it becomes something ugly.
Right. So
let's rank them.
My number one, just because it actually freaked me out, was it hides in the woods.
It lives in the
woods.
woods.
It lives in the woods.
Okay.
That's my number one.
My number one is Big Bad. Chandler Baker. Really freaked me out too.
Yeah. My number two is Big Bad.
My number two is, what are all of them? I'm trying to think. It has to be probably Ankle Snatcher.
My number three is Ankle Snatcher.
My number three is Pram.
My number four is the Pram.
My number five is It Lives in the Woods.
What's your number four?
I thought I said that.
You said your number three is the Pram.
Oh, my number four is It Lives in the Woods.
My number five is Best of Luck.
Which one am I missing?
Best of Luck and In Bloom.
Okay, number five is In Bloom.
My number six is In Bloom.
My number six
is
Best of Luck.
I did not like In Bloom.
It was kind of hard for me to get into.
I didn't get into it, and like, there wasn't really anything freaky about it to me.
No,
so.
I was a little confused.
Yeah,
I must admit.
Same.
I love Paul Tremblay.
Yeah, we stand.
I gave a glowing review. I mean, I still really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
had fun, but I just wasn't as into it as I was the other ones.
Right.
But I think Best of Luck has to be my least favorite because I don't know. I was like, okay, like, you know, like I get it, but I'm like, all right, like,
yeah.
It wasn't.
It was really short, and I feel like there wasn't.
It wasn't as heartbreaking as the other ones. The other ones really like ripped my heart out a little bit.
And I think because like it's harder to get into stories that are short stories for me are harder to get into. Like you really I have to connect to the character, and I just didn't feel like I connected to that character or the one in Bloom very well.
Yeah,
very much,
I think especially in Bloom, like when you had that girl, I think he was trying to be like, well, she has maybe a boyfriend. And I'm like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Like. But all the other characters, they did really well. And like usually short stories don't do it for me, but these like immediately were like you care about these characters from like page one.
Yeah.
And you feel for them. So I think they did really good about that.
I agree.
Speaking of male grief and
I'm literally like, it's actually a perfect segue.
Yeah.
To episode 3 of
AHS. American Horror Story.
Delicate. Delicate. It's a cool set of that.
We're gonna do that every single time. I just watched episode 3 like before I came here.
Yeah.
So I'm ready.
Ready
to talk about it.
What were your thoughts?
I'm just like ready for something to happen. Like something kind of happened this time, but I'm like, okay. Like for the past almost 2 3/4 episodes, it's been setting up. She doesn't know what's going on. Something's happening that's crazy. She has a zit on her chin. The husband is like kind of freaky.
He's shady.
She keeps meeting nice people, but then they're like, I'm gonna give you something weird to eat.
Right.
I get it. There's a weird Barbie doll. And that's just been the same thing that happens.
Yes. And that is very much American Horror Story.
Oh, okay.
A lot of the time it's like it feels like nothing happens, but like before, when you can watch them all back to back, it's different because it feels like something's happening.
Okay.
But yeah, because you have to like wait a week, it's like nothing's really happening.
I literally was like, is there a way I can watch this on 2 times speed? Because I'm so bored right now. I was like, let me guess. That girl's going to be in the tree. Yep, there she is. You know, like,
yeah,
let me guess. It's dark outside.
It's literally just been the same thing that we've seen for the last 2 episodes of her just.
It's just so infuriating because I'm just like, girl, like, nobody's believing you. Like, I think you just need to, like, stay in bed. Like, I don't know.
Or just, like, check yourself into,
lock yourself up. Like, I don't care if you think you're being sane. Like, at least I can't get you.
Right. So something's after her. And
some old people.
And I don't know why. It's like, and obviously it's not supposed to be clear, but it really just is not clear.
It doesn't, like, none of it makes sense at all.
It's not even a hint to me why they want her
No. Basically, so the first half is like the husband's kind of being a dick as normal. Might be cheating as normal. Her best friend's there for like a little bit, and then there's a Kardashian reference as normal. You see her cutting cucumbers. I was like, right. And then she said, it's the green goddess dressing that went viral on TikTok.
Oh
and I was
gosh.
like, get her out.
This is orgasmic.
Yeah, I was like, gross. Anyway, she's there for a second, and then it's like dark outside, and she's like, how did it get dark? And then she gets drunk. So this is when stuff actually happens. Like she gets drunk, she crawls through this little hole, and these half human, half goat
moth. I thought it was like a moth.
Oh, I thought it was like a goat.
Because they had a goat at one point, but
there's a moth and a goat.
The moth. I think of moth because the little head things are like feathery. Like they have like the two little head things,
antennas
that are like feathery antennas. So that's what makes me think. But then there's also spider references. So I don't know.
Maybe they're pinchers.
Maybe. But they drug her. They inject her with something. How did they know she was gonna go down there? I don't know.
Are they omnipresent?
They must be.
Okay, whatever.
Or they lured her somehow. I don't know. But then she can all of a sudden feel her baby moving.
Did you see it whenever she woke up? That thing.
It was like,
yeah, it like went up her stomach, and she's like, I feel the baby.
Think it's a freaking spider.
Yeah, there's a spider.
There's something spider involved, and it's gonna gross me out.
It's gonna be bad for you.
It's gonna be really bad.
Yeah, so she's like, the baby's alive, and the husband's like, no,
it's not.
No, it's not. She's like, it is. And then her gums are all bloody, and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant because bloody gums is a symptom. And then something else happens. She's like, oh my gosh, it's a symptom. And then she starts texting that preacher lady, I guess.
Yeah,
through her calendar. And they're like, they did something to your baby.
And then she's like, is my baby dead? She's like, your baby's not dead. She's like, okay.
Yay. And then she sees something with maggots, and then that's the end.
Some dead animal with maggots, and then it's like,
it was just like shock factor, like every now and then. I guess that's what American Horror Story is.
It really is, honestly, and it has gotten more that way as time goes on. So just,
I'm interested to see what happens. I don't know. I'm not a big fan, but
that's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
I'm still like, I gotta see what happens. Right. And my sister and I are watching it together, which I'll have to rewatch. I had to rewatch last episode, so I'll have to rewatch this one too. We need to like get on because we've had to move our filming days so that we can watch it. Maybe we need to like skip
Thursdays
1 week
Fridays.
And then like we'll have to catch up.
Catch up, yeah.
Whatever, we'll do it. We do it for you guys.
We do it.
What else do we have to talk about? Anything else?
That's it.
We talked a lot.
This is like one of the longest episodes.
Oh my gosh!
And I didn't think we were going to talk that long. So,
okay, let us know if you're. I was gonna name all of them, but just tell us what monster is what monster girl you are.
Yes, tell us what your monster vibe is, and like follow us on TikTok.
TikToks for you.
Yes, and follow us on TikTok to see what your vibe looks like.
And then I think you should like
if you're
make your whole October.
Yes, if you're crusty dusty mummy, it's okay.
It's okay if you're crusty dusty mummy. I think one of my sisters gives crusty dusty mummy because she's a little crusty and dusty, and that's okay. I'll tell her. But I think
I'll tell her.
I think she thinks she's a witch girl, but like you're crusty dusty, you know? Yes. She just said she knows which sister I was talking about. Yes.
Well, just from stuff you told me.
The other one is like a Monster High doll.
Okay.
In like a good way. She listens to this, so she'll know.
Okay.
Anyway, tell us what crusty dusty doll you are.
Yeah, tell us.
Follow us on TikTok at /Slay Pod.
Oh, another monster is like a doll, like a haunted doll.
Are you Annabelle?
Like an Annabelle type,
like Lolita, like Lana Del Rey.
Yeah. Anyways, okay, sorry. Follow us on Instagram at /Slay Pod, TikTok /Slay Pod, and join us next week for more October fun. You really like selling this episode. Join us next week, guys, for more October fun. We love you.